Hi chat, and this time we are actually on the road, not the studio. Guys, my name is Anthony Bandiero. I'm an attorney and senior legal instructor for Blue to Gold Law Enforcement Training, and I'm in Orange, Alabama, on the Gulf of New Mexico. It's absolutely gorgeous out here. We're probably about maybe 10 miles from Florida, so if you just kind of give you an idea, but maybe a little bit more. But the point is I have another roadside chat, and this is an incredible area around here. I've never been down here. So Orange Police Department, I know you brought me in for some training. Can you invite me back, please? Because this place is off the hook. All right, this question comes from an officer in North Carolina. And basically the question is, would Lang turn out differently if the garage door was open? The officer, as far as background goes, I got it all printed out here. I recently took your class in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, and I spoke to you after class, and I love case law, so that's great. I have one question that I wanted to reach out. In Lang versus California, would it have mattered if the garage door was not closed? You know, once the officer breaks the threshold, the doorway into the garage, would he be protected? Would that not be a constitutional violation? All right, so for my friends out there that are not familiar with Lang, let me give you the background. First of all, this is a U.S. Supreme Court case that was decided in 2021. A chippy, right, a CHP officer observed Lang driving, and he was committing the infraction of loud music. The guy, but when the chippy tried to pull him over, I think the case talks about like maybe 4 seconds from his house. So the guy, you know, is the chippy's trying to pull him over. He hits his garage door, and the garage door opens, and Lang pulls into his garage, and of course, predictably, he tries to, you know, close it before the chippy can get inside. The officer then breaks the beam with his foot. The door comes up, engages Lang, and he ends up getting arrested for DUI. All right, so, you know, based off the question that my officer asked, you know, would it be different if the door was open? Well, you know, the answer is no, right? So these are the facts that, you know, the officer's the one that opened the door, but would it be different if the door was just left open? Was it not trying to close? And the answer is no. You get the same result, because what's going on here is that once the officer breaks the threshold into the home, right? And of course, an attached garage is certainly part of the home. So once the officer tries to enter the home, now you have a whole different subset of rules that are going to apply. You're going to need legitimate exigency, right? Legitimate exigency. Now, you know, I put those two words together, and some people say, "But Anthony, exigency, you know, if you have exigency, it has to be legitimate, right?" Well, I just say that because sometimes people throw around this word exigency loosely, especially when it comes to car searches. Like they'll say, "Oh, the motor vehicle exception requires, you know, exigency." But then when you look at the case law, the exigency, the exigency is simply nothing more than the vehicle is readily mobile with little to no repair. So it's not like the car is going anywhere in reality. And they'll still say it's exigent circumstances when really it's not legitimate exigency. So court cases kind of use that language, and I want to make sure we're clear here. If you're going to enter the home, you really need 3 things, okay? The way I teach it, if you're a follower of my channel, you know it's coming. In order to justify a entry into the home, you need crew. That's right. If you had that in your mind, tip of your tongue, I'm proud of you. You make me proud. You need crew. Number 1 is consent. If you have consent from somebody who can give it, certainly that allows you to enter a home. If you don't have consent, the next thing I want you to think about, which is really where the rubber hits the road, is recognized exceptions, right? A recognized exception is another way of saying, do you have a court case that tells you that you can do what you just did? For example, hot pursuit. Now in Lang, that's what this was a hot pursuit case, okay? And the lower courts upheld it under hot pursuit. But the problem is that the U.S. Supreme Court felt that, well, not felt, but they decided that hot pursuit was not going to be categorical. Like, in other words, it was not going to be, hey, just because you're chasing some dude for any violation does not mean hot pursuit into the home. Here, The officer was apparently unaware that the guy was DUI, so we don't have that factor. It's simply a noise complaint. It's a very minor crime, and there's no reason to believe that there's going to be any evidence destroyed. He's going to escape before you can get a warrant. He's going to hurt himself or others. So that's the problem with Lang. So even with hot pursuit is exigency, but it has to be exigency in exigent circumstances for something more than just the chase, unless it's a felony, right? So right now, according to a case called U.S. versus Santana, you can chase for felonies as a categorical rule. Other things that get you into the home is, domestic violence investigations where you believe that somebody is in imminent or immediate harm. That is called the emergency aid exception. And so forth. A fire, a medical call. These are the type of things that get you into homes. So if you don't have consent, you don't have a recognized exception, you need a warrant, right? The warrant, you need judicial pre-approval to have somebody sign off on your entry. Because the officer in Lang did not have either of those, it's not going to matter whether or not the door was fully open and Lang did not try to close it. All right. So the outcome is the same. Excellent question. Keep them coming, guys. We are out there. We're training every week, live online. We have all of our training is on demand if you can't make a live class. But hopefully we can fist bump in the future. Maybe you'll look at the calendar at bluetogold.com. If you can you can see where our classes are. And we're also going to be live online too on a pretty regular basis. All right? All right, guys. Keep them coming. If you want to ask me a question, go to bluetogold.com/show.